Many people know that Aashiqui came from my own personal life.
We discussed that in the past.
My first.
With your first wife.
Yeah, my first wife. I couldn't help remembering that day when Gulshan Kumar came up to me and he lived up to his word like only he could. He was an unusual man. Aashiqui was like a rain in a desert, which had outstanding music. Nadeem Sharman were in peak form. The great B.R. Chopra, who saw the film and said that these guys don't know a damn thing about what makes a movie into a hit. If you think only songs can make a film into a hit, you must be mad.
Well, we have with us a personality whose interviews get a superb response on Bollywood Hungama because of his frank and honest opinions and views. Wonderful to have you back, Bhatt Saab, on Bollywood Hungama.
I feel I've never left this space.
Kya baat hai, huge honor, sir. First of all, Aashiqui, how do you look back at that film? There was an AV that we saw recently which came out, and your pictures with Gulshan Kumar Saab and the public reaction to the movie and the huge reaction to the music of the film as well. So how do you look back at Aashiqui now, sir?
Well,
23 years almost.
You see, I don't look back at life. I'm so vigorously engaged with the here and now and with the process of living that I don't have time to indulge in the luxury of nostalgia. But since I was at the launch and we were in a space where Aashiqui was launched, the Sudeep studio, and they kind of put this imaginative AV together and they flashed it. I couldn't help remembering that day when Gulshan Kumar came up to me. I was shooting in the suburbs and came and said to me, "Aapka naam Mahesh hai na?" So I said, "Yes, I'm a Shivji Bhagat. And अगर आप और हम मिलकर एक म्यूजिकल फिल्म बनाएं जिसमें 8 या 9 गाने हो तो I guarantee you that we will set the nation ablaze and I will take the music into every home and into every heart." And we made a bond and he lived up to his word like only he could. He was an unusual man. A man who came from nowhere. He could take 1,000 MBA graduates and teach them a few basic lessons about marketing.
Those are the times when Filmfare Awards, they carried some credibility. And all the music awards went to Aashiqui, be it the best music director, be it the best singer for Kumar Sanu, Ab Tere Bin, and Anuradha Podwal for Nazar Ke Samne. So music is something that you can't take away from Aashiqui. Every single song is very fresh in everyone's mind.
Aashiqui was like a rain in a desert. Suddenly, after a parched phase of the Hindi cinema, where music had deteriorated to almost ground zero, it was on its last gasp, came this film, which had outstanding music. There was no finishing line for them, for Nadeem Shravan and Sameer team. And you always had the magical Kumar Sanu and the magical Anuradha deliver and surprise you in the recording room with something extra beyond the tune and give you something, a fresher interpretation of the lyric that was penned.
The way the songs were picturized was beautiful. You know, that hazy feeling, that fog element and the entire stuff. The swimming pool, the way it was utilized, I think that was another thing that was definitely hard to miss.
Not many people know that Aashiqui came from my own personal life.
We discussed that in the past.
My first.
With your first wife.
Yeah, my first wife. And so, whenever anything comes from your real life experiences, it has that magical impact on the consciousness of people. And one has lived through that kind of phase of the heart, and that is why one has been able to transport that on screen.
How's the reaction of Lorraine? That's I think is her original name now. She's called as Kiran Bhatt as well. What was her reaction when she saw the movie?
Well, Lorraine Bright and me, by then had parted as husband and wife. I mean, we're still husband and wife technically, but I had moved home. But a bond still remains between both of us. In fact, we were just talking this morning, and she was enchanted that the image of the coat and the boy and the girl smooching underneath still endures 23 years after Aashiqui was made. And she was enchanted to see some scenes of our life up there on the screen, especially the scene where Rahul Roy goes and meets Anu Agarwal in that classroom, the dark classroom, and that's how we used to meet in Bombay Scottish. way back in the late 60s.
Anu Agarwal and Rahul Roy, they came from nowhere and they became sensations. Many would say that maybe primarily only claim to fame. Because generally, जो हिंदी फिल्मों में जो heroines हैं वो गोरी होनी चाहिए and खाई पी होनी चाहिए. But she was like sultry, she was dusky, and that was a new, I think, trend in a way as well. And Rahul Roy, his hairstyle and everything, even Deepak Tijori, there's an entire thing that he used to do, became a rage.
You see, the reason why they worked was because they looked like people from the daily walks of life. They were not, kind of propped up and made to look larger than life. And the consumer connected with that kind of life up there on the screen. They didn't see the divide between this real life and the real life, and that's why they could empathize with it. But to be very fair to Aashiqui, I would say that it endures in the memory of people even 23 years later is because of the haunting songs. And of course, it had a great storyline because it was the great B.R. Chopra who saw the film and said that these guys don't know a damn thing about what makes a movie into a hit. If you think only songs can make a film into a hit, you must be mad.
Absolutely.
It has a storyline. It has
Absolutely.
it has a narrative arc. It had a great story, character arc of a heroine who comes from the orphanage, who refuses to be a burden on the hero, wants to fend for herself, how she outdistances him, how she intimidates the hero because he cannot match her success, how that compels him to churn his guts and do something to become a celebrity himself. All those things were so refreshing and fresh.
Great.
And that what kind of came from one's own insecurities, one's own fears. And that's why they work.